There is no dull moment when we talk about Indian cricket. In fact, a very intense Border-Gavaskar Trophy between India and Australia just concluded. That ended up only giving Indian cricket more headaches than solutions. The year has started with less wins, but more discussions and more closed-door meetings. Many questions that Indian cricket bosses and the core think tank are trying to find answers to. First up, staring at us is the announcement of the T20 squad for the series against England that's coming up at home. It's probably the one thing that has given probably the least number of issues to the management. There is a captain India has picked to succeed Rohit Sharma, at least in this format, and he's had a great run at the helm for the limited time that he's been in charge in. Suryakumar Yadav is enjoying his stint as captain, as India skipper, at least in this format. He has a mix of youngsters and senior hands in that squad rallying around him. Of course, it's seeing the return of someone like Mohammed Shami. He'll come up there right on your screens. All eyes will be on him in this comeback series. And I'll tell you why this is going to be extremely important. The other interesting point to note is that the squad has a vice captain that is not one of the senior hands that's there. It's not Hardik Pandya or Sanju Samson. It's in fact Akshar Patel. A lot of responsibility that, and a way of saying he is a certified presence in that T20 lineup. In fact, a lot of question marks and a lot of discussions that have come out because of this appointment in the Indian squad. The T20 squad pretty much picks itself. There are no other major surprises here, apart from that question of the BCCI, of course, going past someone like Hardik Pandya and giving the responsibility of vice captaincy to a new face. So what are the other worries then right now? First and foremost, the injury of India's premier and best bowler, Jasprit Bumrah. That back spasm is a concern, which is why he has headed to the NCA to assess and recover. He's come through in the past after months of rehabilitation, but the question now is how serious is it this time, and will he make it for some part of the Champions Trophy? Sources say that looks difficult. There has been a severe strain on his lower back. He did end up bowling the most number of overs across both bowling units. Only one bowler bettered his numbers, that of Aussie captain Pat Cummins. That's one of the reasons why India has delayed announcing their squad for the ICC Champions Trophy. They need to know the status of India's biggest force in that bowling unit, which is why it's important that Mohammed Shami has a good comeback against England. His presence in that lineup will be critical if Bumrah remains absent and his comeback is delayed. The responsibility of that bowling unit and leading the charge will fall squarely on Mohammed Shami. With the prospect of no Bumrah having any support and fire from the other end, that is a huge headache for India. And this leads me to point number 3, or should I say yet another headache, with how the Border-Gavaskar series panned out. Everyone looked to Jasprit Bumrah as the long-term captain, but his injury and of course the question of the workload on India's premier fast bowler makes it a huge question mark to address. Can the Indian think tank afford to lose Bumrah the bowler in the quest to make him the captain? What does Indian cricket need more? Bumrah the bowler or Bumrah the captain? That's going to be a huge conversation, of course, and an answer they need quickly. A huge conversation, in fact, took place over the weekend between the top leaders of Indian cricket. BCCI, the selection committee, head coach Gautam Gambhir was present, so too current captain Rohit Sharma. That exposed one reality. Who next to captain India if not Rohit or Bumrah? Rohit Sharma is said to have expressed his desire to continue as captain at least for some period of time. And let's be honest here, who else can really step into his shoes in ODI and Test captaincy? If Bumrah is ruled out, the batting lineup is relatively young. The only other experienced hand in that lineup who can lead and who has in the past is Virat Kohli. But not now, when his form itself is struggling and he's facing one of his biggest challenges at the moment. Rishabh Pant can be groomed, but he needs to realize maturity and taking ownership, shouldering responsibility. Those really have to come to the fore, not just with the bat, but also when it comes to when he's a leader. The calendar here on, of course, is packed. We've got the England series, and that's just in a matter of 10 days now when it kicks off with the T20 series. The Champions Trophy will take center stage after that. The Indian Premier League will consume the summer months, and then, of course, there is the series against England, which is very important all over again. Does Indian cricket have the time and the resources that could be pills for the headache that they're grappling with? And can this England series give some answers to some of those questions?
From breaking news to the day's biggest controversies, shedding light on the world's top headlines, detailed analysis on the stories that matter the most to you. Catch it all on Spotlight at 6 p.m. India time and 12:30 GMT, only on Firstpost.